Hi, I'm Michelle from SAH Barteristas, and today really wanted to talk to you about breakfast. Now, we all know that we're supposed to start off with a good, healthy breakfast, right? But I think it's a lot of times sort of pushed aside because it's something that we really don't have time to do. But I just want to share with you a real easy recipe that I do very frequently for my family. And they really enjoy it, so I'm hoping that you guys will too. It's just a great way to start your morning and just to help you to think straight and to just be able to start your day right. So as a side note, we all want to eat healthy, right? And the thing that we have to think about is none of us want to eat leaves and twigs because that's sort of gross, but we also don't want to eat sugar and sweet and fatty and more specifically prepackaged food because we know that that's not good for us, but it's just extremely convenient. So I know I always try to balance the two. I try to buy as little prepackaged food as possible. Do I buy prepackaged food? Yes, sometimes, but I try to do it as infrequently as possible and try to make fresh as much as possible and try to be just smart about it. So the recipe that I have are pancakes and make 8 pretty big pancakes. And what I normally do, my family actually doesn't eat all of those pancakes, even though there's 9 of us in the family. So what I usually do is just freeze them, which is very easy to do. You just throw them in a Ziploc bag, put them in the freezer, and you're good to go. You could just throw them in the microwave whenever you need them later. And you can also scale it. It's just very forgiving in the sense of you can throw in chia seeds and make it super healthy. And you can I put in chia seed sometimes or flaxseed, whatever I happen to have. And you could also do wheat flour if that's what you like. And but you can also go sort of towards the other end if your kids really like chocolate chips. My kids do a lot, and so I just put chocolate chips in a couple of the pancakes, and I'll show you how I do that just to be able to make it as flexible as possible. Okay, so here we go. First thing I normally do is start with the buttermilk. They're buttermilk pancakes, and so you need buttermilk. You can of course buy the buttermilk, but I usually just make it. So you just need some lemons. You don't have to use lemons if you don't have them. You can also use vinegar, but I like using lemons because then you can throw them in your garbage disposal and it cleans the garbage disposal. So that's always a plus. I usually just use 1 lemon. I put in enough milk to go to about 1 3/4 cup buttermilk that you'll be making. And what I have in here is flour, 2 cups of flour, and I usually just use a tablespoon of sugar. You can up that to around 2, but I try to put as little sugar as possible in there because my kids drown it in syrup, so figured they get enough that way. Okay, so of course we need some salt. And here's my salt. I put in about 1 teaspoon of salt. Baking soda, just half a teaspoon of baking soda. And 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then just whisk that all together. And, I used to think that a whisk was really unnecessary, that all you really needed was a spoon, but the whisk definitely helps to mix everything a little bit better so you don't have, like, lumpy pancakes. So, definitely would, if you don't have one, invest in a whisk. And then, here's my egg. You just need 1 egg, and here's 3 tablespoons of butter melted. So, I usually just add the cold egg to the butter and then whisk that together with the butter. Okay, so after mixing the egg and the butter together, you add it to the buttermilk. Mix that up so you can see. And then you throw it into your flour mixture. So you always mix the wet ingredients first, just so that they're well mixed, and then you add it to your dry. And one thing that I've learned is don't overmix your pancake batter because they're just not as fluffy. So you just want to mix it until there's just barely, you really don't see any streaks of flour, but once that happens, then you're done and you need to stop. Now, I had mentioned before that you can add any type of, like healthy additive. So I add chia seeds a lot. So it's not just for the pottery that grows. It can be for your pancakes. So as long as your kids or whoever you're making this for don't mind the chia seeds, they really add nothing to the flavor of the pancake, but they add some nutrition. So so you should just have your pan on. I usually turn it on about the time that I start making the pancakes, so that by the time I'm done making the pancakes and it's nice and hot, and you can go ahead and start your making your pancakes. So here's my pan, and it's sort of awesome because it's like this double the size of a normal frying pan. But so just for you guys to have an idea, I usually just put a little bit of oil, that's about it, on the pan. And then I throw on my pancakes. So here's my full pan of pancakes frying right now. And you can see they're all plain, but what I found just to be easier than to be stuck with all 8 pancakes being one type, you can just sort of modify it as you go. So I usually do around 6 of them as chocolate chip, but you could do it however you want. You can add blueberries, or you can add strawberries, or anything to just a couple of them. And for those who don't want it, just don't add it. This is how I normally do it. So my kids really like their chocolate chip pancakes. So generally you want to flip them. These are obviously okay. And they're thick, so you got to be careful just that you cook them long enough. But you know that they're ready when you try to get the spatula underneath them and they don't run like that. So that one's not really ready to flip, and it's not going to be very pretty, but that's okay. So this is it. This is the final product. You get about 8 pancakes, like I said, and they're pretty big, so definitely 1 is probably more than enough for most adults, maybe 2. But hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a recipe that can easily be doubled. I've done that lots also when we have other people come over. So hope you guys can start off your day right. I hope this helps. Any other suggestions for morning, how you start off your morning, what sorts of things that you eat, please share and comment on the video. And thanks so much for watching.